Canadian Federation of Students challenge optional student fees in court. Ethiopian Prime Minister is celebrated for ending hostilities with Eritrea.
Who we have at the bat is Jen Braun.
Hawks pitcher Miranda Pearson breaks records on seniors' night pitching a perfect game.
Miranda Pearson with the perfect game to end her career with the Humber Hawks.
Humber News starts now. Hello, I'm Zainab Zaman coming to you from our newsroom at Humber's North Campus. It's Friday, October 11th. Here's what's making news this hour. Post-secondary students are in court today challenging the province's changes to optional school fees.
The students united will never be defeated! The students united will never be defeated!
They were loud and they were angry on the steps of the courthouse. The Canadian Federation of Students had a message for the Ford government ahead of a divisional court appearance in Toronto. The group is demanding a review of the Ontario Government Student Choice Initiative, which allows post-secondary students to opt out of voluntary fees. The CFS says the policy's guidelines are arbitrary and will cut much-needed funding for programs like Student Union and campus newspapers. CFS Executive Member Kayla Wheeler says the initiative is heavy-handed and will have the most impact on vulnerable students.
Marginalized students on campus, students who can't afford to pay their tuition, students who access food banks, but also campus radio, newspapers and radio stations, who oftentimes are the ones that the places where students gain skills outside of the classroom.
The workers united will
The
never
CFS
be defeated!
has been protesting the policy since its release in January. The government says the initiative offers students the opportunity to choose which campus services they support. Federal party leaders got another chance last night to argue their case and separate themselves as the election draws near. Battles of the hearts and minds of Quebec voters last night as Bloc Québécois leader François Blanchet attempts to take seats from the Liberals. In 2015, the Bloc claimed 10 seats but are on track for more this year, polling at 5.2% for this election. It was a more controlled debate, but that didn't prevent candidates from going after the Prime Minister whenever they got a chance.
Parlementaires du budget qui sont là pour les défendre. Et je pense que les gens savent que depuis 4 ans, je les défends.
Trudeau took office vowing to run a series of small budget deficits, but has since ditched that promise as the Liberals ramp up spending. Conservative leader Andrew Scheer plans to announce his party platform later today, but is planning on eliminating shortfalls in 5 years. This was the third and last encounter between the leaders until the October 21st election day. Save the Children charity is calling for politicians to do just as their name suggests. At least 25 Canadian children are trapped in a refugee camp in Syria. The children are based in El Hal, which is a refugee camp about 100 kilometers southeast of the Syrian and Turkish border. Aid workers on the ground say the kids are largely the offspring of Canadian women and Islamic State militants. Turkey's President Erdogan says they will keep Islamic fighters in jail while the women and children could go through a rehabilitation program. Camp conditions are dire and all forms of communication have been cut to prevent friends and family from speaking to their loved ones. The aftermath of Turkey's airstrikes against Kurdish militia has left thousands homeless and innocents killed. It's been 3 days since Turkey launched airstrikes against Kurdish fighters in northeast Syria. American troops were pulled out of the region, leaving an opening for Turkey to launch an offensive against the Kurds. Videos showing the aftermath reveals the collateral damage done to the buildings and the people with no homes to go back to UN's High Commissioner for Refugees. Filippo Grandi told the media how hundreds of thousands of people are at grave risk if the attack continues.
And hundreds of thousands more are at grave risk amid active hostilities as cold weather sets in.
The attack have left more than 70,000 people displaced and killed 10 civilians and 277 militants. Environmental activist group Extinction Rebellion continued its 2-week protest with the newest stunts in Australia. Activists buried their heads in the sand on Sydney's Manly Beach to symbolize people ignoring the risk of climate change. Activists also danced to disco and lay down on tram tracks in Melbourne. In Brisbane, impeded traffic on William Jolly Bridge. This is all part of worldwide activism to convince governments to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2025. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has won the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize for his peacemaking efforts with Eritrea. Prime Minister Ahmed received his award last night from the Nobel Peace Prize Committee in Oslo, Norway. In 2018, Eritrea's president welcomed Ahmed to the Eritrean capital, Asmara, after years of hostility. It was a grueling battle that cost 70,000 people their lives. Ahmed also ended a 10-month state of emergency, freed political prisoners, and more. Many believe the prize was environmental activist Greta Thunberg's to lose, but the voters went a different way. The prize is worth 9 million Swedish crowns, or around 1.2 million Canadian, and will be presented in Oslo on December 10. There was madness in Manchester as a knife-wielding man attacked shoppers. Cell phone video shows police pinning down a man that they believe went on a stabbing spree in a busy mall in Manchester Friday morning. Arndale Shopping Centre was evacuated as armed police rushed to the scene. A heavy police presence was felt as the investigation progressed. 5 people were taken to the hospital where they are covering now. Greater Manchester Police said in a statement that in the early stages they are keeping an open mind about the motivation and circumstances. Manchester isn't new to attacks. In 2017, a suicide bomber killed 22 people and injured dozens more at the end of a pop star Ariana Grande's concert. Another raging wildfire has broken out in California. The fast-growing fire erupted last night and expanded 4,000 acres overnight in northern Los Angeles. A garbage truck ignited the fire when it dumped burning trash in Saddle Ridge around 9 p.m. last night. The fast-growing fire that exploded to 4,700 acres by Friday morning has destroyed dozens of homes in Riverside Country. Southern California's strong winds have increased the blaze, which is moving at a rate of 800 acres per hour. Tens of thousands of people are being evacuated as Los Angeles firefighters scramble to save homes. For several hours, there were no reported fatalities, but recent news confirms that 1 man has died from a heart attack amid the wildfire. This fire is one of several fires currently blazing in Southern California. Indonesia's embassy in Bangkok, Thailand had to be evacuated today due to an unexpected fire. Bangkok firefighters responded quickly to the blaze and were able to put out the fire within an hour. The building's entire upper floor was damaged and 4 people were taken to a hospital after suffering from smoke inhalation. Authorities suspect the cause of the fire could be an electrical short circuit. A Category 5 typhoon expected to hit Japan this weekend. Typhoon Hagupit is on track to hit Japan tomorrow with 160 mph winds and 80 centimeters of rain. Hagupit has cancelled over 1,600 flights, train services, and Rugby World Cup matches, bringing floods and power outages to multiple parts of Tokyo. The diameter of Hagupit expands to 1,400 kilometers, with the eye of the storm being 55 miles wide, a size greater than 800 football fields. This typhoon is coming after another typhoon killed 3 and injured 60 others in eastern Japan. Japan is the 3rd most typhoon-prone country in Asia, so the threat of the storm isn't a shocker as civilians quickly get ready for the danger ahead. Robots are taking our jobs? Not yet, but according to economist Armine Alnizian, the Atkinson Fellow on the Future of Workers, the changes in the job market are affecting both young and soon-to-be retirees. With more on this story, here's Raymond Brooks.
When you imagine future workers, do you imagine these students or these machines? According to economist Armine Alnizian, these mechanical employees are more likely to enter the workforce than people.
We're not clear on where the future's going, and it is possibly different this time, but it might look and feel a lot like the past, and so we have to be really careful about how we respond to it.
Alnizian, who is an Atkinson Fellow on the Future of Workers, engaged the Humber community by showing them proof of the changing job landscape courtesy of Boston Dynamics. The speed of developing technology is exciting but quickly replacing workers due to automation. Alnizian is giving speeches at events like the President's Lecture Series in hopes of spreading awareness.
My greatest desire is that this generation of young workers understands their power and works together in Canada and with workers around the world to make work a decent and exciting life for everybody, and that we don't just live to work, but work to live.
But where does that leave young students like Stephen Borgiani? Borgiani attended the lecture alongside his classmates and teachers to learn more about their future.
No, I was just really shocked to see, I know our economy is, not going necessarily in the best direction, but all of the points she was touching up on today was just I said it was eye-opening.
Students were thankful to the opportunity to listen to a speaker, courtesy of President's Lecture Series. The series' goal is to welcome public influencers and provide a forum for critical discussion. Ian Gary is the one who contacts potential lecturers.
Is a bit of a challenge, but I think at the end of the day, it's that idea of generating discussion and debate among the attendees that really makes it worthwhile. When you have a super engaging speaker and you get audience participation, especially students asking really good.
The next event in the series has already been announced. Dr. Christina Hoichia will be giving a speech on transitioning our world to 100% renewable energy next month at Lakeshore Campus. Raymond Brooks, Humber News.
NASA's latest spacecraft takes flight. Global aerospace company Northrop Grumman launched their new Pegasus XL rocket just off the coast of Florida. The Stargazer that was supposed to be released in 2017 got postponed due to mechanical complications, needing another 2 years of work. The launch happened at 8:30 p.m. Thursday night as a private testing, with the Stargazer reaching an altitude of 39,000 feet. The NASA team lost connection to the Pegasus during the testing but were able to regain full control. While mapping out the direction and timing of the Stargazer, NASA hit every one of their objections. NASA scientists' hopes are to use the Pegasus XL to gain further knowledge into the mysterious of space. With Thanksgiving long weekend here, you may want to think twice about the meat you plan to eat. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has issued a recall on some raw beef and veal products due to a possible E. coli contamination. Distributors, retailers, and restaurants are being told not to serve, use, or sell the recalled products. The meat was sold at grocery stores including Fortino's and Metro. You can find the full list on recalled products on the website of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. The agency is warning people who have recently bought these products to return it to the store. They say the meat may not look or smell spoiled, but can still make you sick. Symptoms can include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. The CFIA says there have been no reported illnesses. In the past, coming out as gay or lesbian was a concern for people, but now it's a sense of pride. Humber hosted its first ever National Coming Out Day event with the LGBTQ+ Resource Center to highlight the importance of supporting the community and recognizing their bravery. The Resource Center offers members of the LGBTQ+ community at Humber a safe space to be themselves whenever they may need support or just somewhere to hang out. Real Note, who works at the Resource Center, is part of the LGBTQ+ community themselves.
But we hope that students get the encouragement to feel that they have our space to come to if they want to come out, and if they don't feel safe outside of their inner circle to come out. I think it's really important for students to have that support at their schools if they don't have it in their own lives.
Note says Humber College strives to build an atmosphere that is diverse and inclusive. Students with different identities to the event and got the chance to take selfies and win prizes. People told their stories of acceptance in the community and encouraged others to live their truth. 10 years on and off, fans haven't forgotten Breaking Bad.
A horrific scene with multiple victims. It started when neighbors reported hearing hundreds of gunshots fired. When Albuquerque police arrived, they discovered the bodies of 9 male victims.
Leave it to Netflix to bring back a masterpiece crime show. El Camino is the epilogue to Breaking Bad's 5-season run. The Netflix film stars Aaron Paul as the lead role and is set to answer lingering 10-year-old questions. The show won him 3 Emmys for Best Supporting Actor in a Drama. Reviews from critics have praised Paul's performance and the film for offering closure to longtime series fans. We are going to take a quick break. Still ahead, the latest in sports. But first, Madeline Jafar-Najad has a preview of your 3-day forecast.
Whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or not, everyone can appreciate a long weekend with a sunny start. We might be looking at some showers though, so it could be the perfect time to get cozy with some good food and the ones you love most. We'll be back with this weekend's weather forecast after the break.